Do you find that your resilience is tested by the people that surround you? People are amazing, yet sometimes they can be a little bit stressful depending on how we're interacting with them. So stick with me, because this week I want to finish our conversation around resilience by helping you to do things a little bit differently. Hi, this is Herbert, leadership and sustainable performance coach. And today I want to continue our conversation around resilience, where we're looking to go from being stressed all the time to being strong, but in a healthy way, by helping you to develop your social resilience. Over the last few weeks, we've been talking about these 4 types of resilience. We started talking about physical resilience, which is about keeping your body where it needs to be able to thrive and survive in whatever it is that you're doing, and to sustain that over the long period of time. We talked about emotional resilience, which is all about navigating your emotions in a way that allows you to have enough energy to be who you need to be in every area of your life. Last week, we talked about mental resilience, and that's about staying mentally strong, but doing it in a way that's healthy, not just pushing through and having that mental toughness as being the only way to do things. So today, I want to talk about social resilience. Now, if you were to Google the words social resilience, you'll come up with a couple of different things. And one of those is more a macro view on how communities develop social resistance. In fact, how the world operates and, various different topics around that. And that's great. But what I want to talk to you about today is about you and about your own individual social resilience. So what is that? It's your capacity to not only foster and engage in positive relationships, but to sustain them. And also to endure and to recover from life's stresses and, in some cases, social isolation. I know for a lot of time in my life, I isolated myself from everybody else. And I thought that was the only way that I could handle things. If I wasn't with other people and I was just with me, I wouldn't have to pretend. I wouldn't have to do things to get their approval. All these unhealthy parts of my own internal wiring and the dialogue that went on. But it actually made things worse. And I believe, and in fact I know, that my emotional breakdown was created by social isolation. So what I had to do, and what I want to help you with today, is learn how to be more socially resilient. So the first part of that, as we said, was to foster positive relationships. So by fostering, that says to me, I'm going to do whatever I can do within my power to make sure that my relationships are healthy. Now, once again, just as it is with everything that you and I talk about, we're never going to be perfect, right? That's not the goal. It's not possible. And in fact, it's an unrealistic expectation that is going to create problems for you. What I'm talking about here is being aware, having a high level of emotional intelligence and social intelligence, where you can exercise a great deal of empathy, where you know how to operate with other people. Remember, people are just like you with different stories. So whenever we're interacting with people, we are interpreting that interaction in a certain way, and so are they. So whenever you have 2 or more people that are working through their own internal dialogue, their own uncertainties, their identity issues, and all the other things that we've talked about, you're going to have communication that has confusion and leads to conflict. So being able to develop your skills in social interactions is going to help you to develop this social resilience. The second thing is in the word engage. So engaging in positive relationships, that takes work. That takes effort. That means that proactively going out and seeking relationships. However, seeking relationships for a certain purpose. I use a simple model in every decision-making process that I go through of for what purpose and at what cost. So dealing with the for what purpose in this context, what I'm talking about here is for what purpose would I have a relationship with that person? And if that purpose is something that's feeding something unhealthy in my psychology, then I need to rethink that. An example of that would be, I need to have that relationship with that person so I can feel better about myself, so that I've got another opportunity to have someone approve of me. And then if we take that to the other side, at what cost? The cost is enabling and exacerbating my need for approval. So making sure that you engage in positive relationships for the right purpose. Engaging in positive relationships also means that you need to be able to practice your emotional and mental resilience skills as well. You need to be able to go into those relationships having a positive mindset about yourself and a positive expectation of what might be happening with the other person. Our emotional intelligence is all about us being able to be aware of our own emotions. And social intelligence, as we've talked about, is all about being able to recognize what could be going on in the other person. So practicing these skills and engaging in relationships in a positive way is going to build up your social resilience. You're going to be able to shift your thinking and your mindset around what relationships are. Because when you look at relationships as being something based on your previous experiences that you have to endure, that creates problems for you, that you have expectations like, well, I know they're going to let me down anyway, then that's not going to provide you with the right thinking to have good relationships. And the third part of it, as I said, is to be able to sustain those relationships. What I tended to do is if things looked bad, I ran away because I didn't know what to do next and I didn't want to feel the way I was feeling. So when you go right back to what I said before, that it's never going to be perfect, and you have that as the lens that you are navigating through, then this is going to help you to sustain your relationships. Relationships are going to have conflict. Relationships are going to have disagreement. And I've already talked about why that's the case. So being able to continually work on and practice your skills of interpersonal relationships, of communication, of navigating conflict, of building trust, and all those key social intelligence competencies is going to help you to be able to sustain relationships. Looking at having that relationship that's got a purpose that's mutually beneficial. In fact, it's three-way. It's good for you, it's good for them, and it's good for the greater good. Is going to help you to sustain relationships that are going to be positive. Social resilience, in my experience, is taking those other three, physical, emotional, and mental resilience, and bringing other people into the picture and practicing all the skills that we've talked about this month in your interaction with others and enjoying being a part of the human race and the human-to-human connections that are available to you. Resilience is an important topic. We started talking about it at the start of the month by saying and understanding that it's not about toughening up. It's not about pushing through, eating some concrete, getting harder, hustling and grinding. No, it's about being open and vulnerable, asking for help when it's needed, and navigating whatever you're going through in a more positive and healthy way. Well, that's it from me for another week. Join me again next week as we continue our conversation through the 9 crucial shifts for leaders by looking at how we build great relationships. I'll see you then.